Good morning, everybody. Toast to you and all you do. We're having some camera issues, okay? We'll survive this. Today, I want to talk about oregano. I have this big, beautiful oregano here, but I am not having luck with the camera and getting me and the oregano in the camera. So, whatever. Good morning. I hope you're having a great day. Let's look at oregano. This is oregano. So, oregano is a perennial herb. It grows really easily. This came back from last year. I just bought a little 2-inch round from the store last year, and now this is what it is. It's growing so well here in my path that not only do I have it here, I was able to cut some out. I'm actually sitting on it. Look at it, and it's loving it. It doesn't care. It's really happy. It grows on the the rocky slopes of like Greece and stuff like that, in the Roman area. It's been used since Roman times forever. Um, I mean, it's really a useful herb, and it tastes really great, like in your Italian food or your spaghetti. I use it in all kinds of stuff. I've actually recently become kind of a fan of the marjoram more than the oregano. They're both in the same family. They're just different. Anyways, so the oregano is awesome. Magically, it is connected with Venus and Earth, so it's an earth plant. It helps you to connect with that growing earth energy. It is associated with love and healing. It has, it has the ability to bring joy and happiness. Just sitting here, like petting it, is kind of like petting an animal. You know, they have like those animals that you pet to make you happy. That's how this oregano is. You just pet it and it makes you happy. It smells really good. The cool thing about oregano is that as it dries, it actually becomes more fragrant and more flavorful. The oils are what give it its flavor. So it is great for making infused oils. It's also great to use dry. And as you can see, this is a huge bush. I mean, it's taller than my hand. I would say it's probably as tall as oregano gets, so like 12 inches almost. Excuse me. So let's see, other magic things. Oh, when you grow it near your home, it helps to protect you. I have it growing in the very center of my garden as like a safe place that everything kind of extrudes from. Whatever, that was not the right word. It's like 6 in the morning. Anyways, so when you collect herbs, it's better to do it early in the morning before it's gotten hot outside and all of the essential oils are really concentrated in the plant. So right now we've got some morning dew going on and it's nice and cool, so we're going to collect this today. It's also like this huge mound that I don't need. I just want it to be a little ground cover. So we are going to cut it back. When I first learned how to cut back herbs like marjoram or lemon balm or this oregano or even basil, a lot of these different herbs, it's almost intimidating because you have this beautiful plant and oh, I just want to pick this tiny little piece. Just gonna pick one leaf. Look, there's a weed. That's actually not a plant. That is a sunflower. Oh, a sunflower. Throw that over there. Don't need that here. Anyways, so you go in and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna pick this one little dainty piece in there. I've got my oregano and I'm ready to go. Look, this oregano, you could plant it. See how easy it comes out? That's how, let's see if I'll zoom in. You can see the roots. That's how easily it comes out. That's how easy it is to transplant this. Oregano is one of those herbs that if you're like, I can't grow anything, try oregano. It grows really well. Like I could give this to you and it would grow. Like you could literally just put this in the dirt and it'll grow a plant. And it just barely has these little tiny baby roots on it, but it will make a new plant. But that's not what we're here today. We're going to add that to our towel. So I did bring out some scissors. It's nicer to the plant to cut it instead of to just rip it out like that. Honestly, I didn't mean to pull it all the way out, but because this is so clumped that it's like pushing itself out. So, so to collect it, oh, totally covered the camera there. Let's see. we're just going to come down here. Oh my goodness. Caught the cord. All right. I'm just going to come down here to the bottom. And we're going to start clipping away. I'm just going to go down here. And I'm going to clip. And that was it. So I'll kind of show you what I'm doing on this one that we pulled out earlier. So as you can see, it goes down and it gets a little further back. It gets a new branch and then it has new branches. And you can see there's little new leaves coming out. So if you cut it just above one of these places, that'll make a whole new branch and it'll become like a new little bushy thing. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to cut it back pretty good because this, like I said, is pretty huge. And once we get down here to the bottom, you can see all of this amazing new growth trying to come in and do its thing. So you're almost like the lawnmower, I feel like, with these kind of herbs. Same with the lemon balm. It's not, you don't have to delicately count 5 nodes back and clip everyone right there. I want this to be about 2 inches tall. So I'm going to go through. Oh, I covered the camera. I'm going to go through and I'm just going to keep clipping until it's about 2 inches tall. So while I'm clipping, we can talk about some of the other properties of. Oh, we're all caught up now. Oh, let's see if this will work again. Okay. There we go. You still going? Okay. We can talk about some of the other properties of oregano. So something that you might have heard about oregano is that fancy farmers feed it to their chickens or other livestock animals because it's antibacterial. So it has some great abilities to help you heal and be protected. Traditionally, it was used to make salves for the skin. It also treats like muscle cramps, sore muscles, fatigue, and kind of like those achy things. And it helps to boost your immune system. It's got a lot of vitamins in it. It is, that was really long. Let's see. Let's look at my list. So it's an antioxidant, it's antibacterial, anti-asthmatic, antihistamines, antifungal. It contains a ton of vitamin C. So one of the really cool things about it, and the reason we feed it to chickens and to other animals and stuff like that, is because it is antibacterial to foodborne illnesses. So you can use it in your meat dishes to kind of help combat bacteria in that way. And it's been used like that for a really long time. So it was used as like a gut aid digestion thing. So they would eat it after they ate. So that way they would digest their food really well and they wouldn't get sick from their food. Can you imagine not having a refrigerator and the kind of things that you would have eaten? I recently learned that ketchup was invented because they used to use this Asian peanut sauce, ketchup, to cover the taste of the rancid meat. And so then Heinz was like, hey, what if we use tomatoes and we made it a tomato paste sauce? And then they had ketchup. But it was original, like that's what it was used for, is to cover the taste of the rancid meat. Isn't that crazy? Could you imagine just eating rancid meat because that's all you had? That would have been normal. And that was in the early 1900s. So there's some dirt on the leaf. I'm trying to knock off as much dirt as possible. Just so that it's easier to wash. So once you have your dried oregano, oh yeah, wait, we're going over this list. Oh yeah, so it also is really good for your kidneys and your liver. It can help to rebuild those cells and help them not have to work so hard. I wonder, it does have a square leaf. or a square stem. I don't think it's in the mint family, but it does have a pretty square stem. And the way that you tell that is when you rub it through your fingers, it kind of like clicks instead of just spins. Anyways, so internally, because this is safe for internal use, this has been used in teas to help treat coughs and asthma and other respiratory infections. It's also really good for allergies. It has antihistamines in it, so if you have allergies to grass or ragweed or stuff like this, you could make a honey out of this, and it would probably be amazing. Like 1 teaspoon of oregano honey would really help with allergies. It is also, it's also, if you take it in large doses, it can bring on your menses. So it is a blood thinner. It can help to alleviate cramping and those kind of thing, and just kind of get your flow going. So it is, like, I wouldn't take large amounts of the essential oil if you're on like blood thin or blood medication, because it will affect your blood medicine, stuff like that. It can be used, so because of that though, it can be used to help treat diabetes and hypertension and cholesterol and stuff like that, because it can to help bring down your blood pressure and bring, those good things in there, and thin out your blood a little bit, not to a significant point, but to the point where it just kind of flows a little bit easier. That'll help bring down your blood sugar and just different little things like that. Topically, it's also amazing because it's been used to treat acne and athlete's foot, dandruff, canker sores, warts, ringworm. So it's because it's anti-parasitic. It's good for muscle aches and varicose veins and insect bites and rosacea and psoriasis and all kinds of things. Just it really helps your body to turn over, I guess. It would be a good way to say that. And just start doing new things, like making new blood or making new cells. Has all kinds of great properties. But today, what I'm going to do with it is I am going to make an infused vinegar for cleaning around the house. So I did one with the peppermint or spearmint, because I'm hoping it brings in that smell. I mean, spearmint has some antibacterial and antifungal properties, so that'll help with cleaning, but really the vinegar is doing the cleaning. It's the spearmint I want to do the smelling. On this hand, it's good for food bacteria, it's good for different things in the kitchen, and it'll have a little bit of smell, hopefully to cover some of that vinegar smell. But really now at this point, I'm looking for those antibacterial, antimicrobial, anti-parasitic, all of that stuff. Those are the properties that I'm looking for. So we are going to use it fresh to make vinegar, and then I will dry some, and we will use that to make oil for our soaps later. So we can have an oregano cleansing soap that will, look at how long that one. It's like a whole, it's growing sideways because there was so much stuff at the bottom. All right. Now that we've made it to the bottom of our plant, it looks like someone took a lawnmower to it. But let's see. Now, of course, it's not as green and lush and beautiful, but you can see all of these little leaves. Let's see, we'll zoom in. Focus. There we go, a little better. But you can see it's got all of these little tiny leaves, and it was getting yellow under here because it was so thick. So now these little leaves will have a chance to be happy and excited and growing. And we'll be able to do it all over. And I mean, look at the pile I got. So this will be more than enough to do probably 2 jars, maybe 3 after. We'll see how it dries. But again, after this dries, it's going to become more aromatic. So I'm going to take this inside, and what I'm going to do is put it in the sink with cold water, just like you would lettuce. I'm going to give it a good bath real quick, rinse it, probably do it twice because the leaves are pretty dirty. Working in the garden the other day, got everything really bad. And then I'll roll it in a towel to get off that excess moisture, and we'll throw it in a jar with some vinegar on top. It's really simple. I have another video where I did the whole deal with the peppermint, and you can see me fill the jar and whatnot. But I think that you are capable of understanding that. I'm going to fill the jar up all the way, and then I'm going to leave about this much space in the top from the vinegar, so the vinegar is not touching that rubber round. Make sure that your jar is clean, all of that stuff. And then I'm going to let that sit for 6 weeks. And then we'll make a cleaning vinegar out of it, because we'll have our infused vinegar. So it'll be amazing. So I hope everybody has a fantastic day. I hope you enjoy getting out into your garden. And don't be scared to prune your plants. I think that pruning and collecting was one of the hardest lessons I had to learn. But pruning is so important, because if you don't cut your plants back, then they're not going to grow. They're going to become like this. Look at how sad it was in the center. It's all yellow, and the leaves aren't getting enough sunlight and enough air and enough oxygen. And now it's just going to thrive, and it'll come back. It'll be twice that size. So I hope everybody has a blessed day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what you're doing in your garden, and ask your questions, and communicate and share and tell me. I want to hear about it. So we'll talk to you all soon. Many blessings.